tonight on Cornell Road, South Cornell Road. This time I'd like to call this meeting, public hearing to order, and I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to ask PJ from the Mayor's Office to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, PJ. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Marcanti.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Nicolucci. Here. Riley. Seabury. Stanhope. Here. Taylor.
Here.
Tola.
Here.
Nagashev.
Present.
Hallis. Cabo.
Present.
Sadi. Visconti.
Here.
Trompetta. Knapp. Nero. Perkins.
Present.
Leonese. Vitello.
Here.
Heicholz. Present. And Scottafava.
With the record reflect Mr. Cheney has just joined us. There are 14 members present, 7 absent. I believe Mr. Secretary Marketing. I have Mr. Riley, who is, I believe, out of town, and Mr. Seabury, who is out of town, and Mr. Hallis, who is working. And Mr. Sadi, who is with his children tonight for their 3rd birthday for Sabrina and Jacob. So happy birthday to Sabrina. We have Mr. Knapp, who is out of town on business. Mr. Nero, I believe, is having a family function. Mr. Scottafava is recovering from surgery and doing well. And, we send our wishes out to him for a speedy recovery. The notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Danbury will hold public hearings at which parties and interested citizens will have an opportunity to be heard in relation to the following: copies of which are on file in the Legislative Assistant's Office for public inspection, proposed renaming of Cornell Road to South Cornell Road. Said public hearing will be held on Monday, the 22nd of August, 2011 at 7 p.m. in the Council Chambers, City Hall, 155 Deer Hill Avenue, Danbury, Connecticut. That was attested by Jean A. McCallie, Legislative Assistant. And just for the council members and members of the public who are here, we will have a committee of the whole take up action on this business after the said public hearing closes. So stick around and stay tuned for the exciting action. Ladies and gentlemen of the public, the council is here tonight to hear your feelings on the proposed name change of the road. We don't answer questions in this dialogue fashion. We're here just to listen to you. Please, when you come forward, just state your name, spell your last name so that the clerk can get a clear copy of it for the record. And we're here to listen to you. And stick around after. We're going to close the public hearing. When you're done speaking, we're going to go to the committee of the whole, which is just a large ad hoc, and we're going to take up the action on this tonight. And for reference to the council for the meeting in September. I could, if the council will indulge me, I would like to just read a letter that I received from Joanne Reed, who asked me to read this tonight into the record. She would like to have it as part of the public record. Mayor Mark Bowden, members of the City Council, from Joanne Reed, Planning Assistant, regarding the public hearing on proposed renaming of Cornell Road to South Cornell Road. I am sorry that I could not be present at the public hearing this evening, but I am taking a summer class at Westcom. If I could be there, I would ask that this matter be expedited, as it would remedy a problem that has been in existence for at least 23 plus years that I have worked in the Planning and Zoning Department. The issue of duplicate street names is a big problem in the city of Danbury, and this will be one less street for us to worry about. After speaking with Mayor Bowden, these residents, led by Robin Guzzi, came up with a new name, surveyed the property owners, and presented the information to Tim Sumpus and myself. We started working on this project at least 6 months ago, and the residents have been very patient. It is important to note that the word south must come first in the street name, because if it is added to the end, it will get dropped or eliminated by many computer programs. Attached is a correspondence from your July agenda regarding this matter. Again, I urge you to take the necessary action to approve this renaming. Thank you, and signing Joanne Reed, Planning Assistant. So at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing to the members of the public that are here and who would like to come and address the council.
Hi, my name is Robin Guzzi, it's G-U-Z-Y. The reason I put this letter forward to all the residents, Mayor Mark was campaigning a couple years ago, and this problem has gone on for over 20-some odd years that I've lived in the city of Danbury. We get the wrong mail, we get the wrong deliveries. The fire department sometimes goes to the wrong road. The police department has come to our road when they don't belong on our road, they belong on the other Cornell Road. It's a very dangerous situation. If somebody were to need an ambulance like my neighbor did several times, this elderly woman, if I hadn't designated what Cornell Road we were going to, we probably would have been out of luck in many instances with several people. I just feel it's a safety hazard. It's very dangerous to anybody. I mean, Mr. Visconti, you know how important it is being a fireman that you have to get to a situation in time. Same thing with Mr. Kern. You know that every minute is vital when it comes to somebody's life. I mean, I would hate to see that somebody dies because the city ambulance can't get to where they belong at the right time, or at the other end of Danbury, which is quite a distance from where we live. It's not close. And I don't know the exact mileage, but it's not close enough that it can be rectified in 2 or 3 minutes. It's just the mail. We've been getting people's mail for the last, I don't know how many years. My neighbor who lives at the other Cornell Road calls me constantly and says to me, "I got your mail again." I think he's to the point now he just tears it up because he's tired of it. And the post office has informed us they can't do anything unless the city changes it. And to me, it's just dangerous. We need the help. We need the council's vote to correct this if possible, please, because we have elderly people on the street. We have little children. And I would hate that something happens to somebody unnecessarily.
Thank you, Mrs. Dunn.
Okay, my neighbors are here. If anybody else wants to speak, I'm sure they're going to give their accounts to what's happened.
Hi, I'm Katie Gehan, Gehan. I'm at number 11 Cornell Road. And one thing just to comment on what Robin said. Of course, I think all of us feel that the emergency vehicles are the most important. I did actually, probably about 6 months ago, have a police officer come to my house. Didn't join me right away, and he said, "Did you call the police?" I said, "No." I said, "Oh." Before me, I didn't even know that it was in the Cornell Road. Then when he found out it was on the other side of town, the poor guy, I think he was like ready to die. But another thing which is secondary but still does affect us, is the deliveries. I had a FedEx or UPS guy say to me, if you put in Cornell Road, it comes up with not the city Cornell Road, but the private Cornell Road over by the lake. And he says that has so much to do with it. I don't know if there's a way of changing that, but that's how easy it is for things to get mixed up because of the same name. And then you've had a very good experience with people on the other Cornell Road. The person that is on the corresponding Cornell Road is not as gracious about it, refuses to pick up or drop, and sometimes I wonder, do I get all my mail? So that's another issue is, security.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other member of the public that wishes to address a concern?
Paul Duncan,
Sir, if you just come on up, I'd appreciate it.
5 Cornell Road. The problem that we have is there are the same numbers on both roads. So if we have 5 Cornell Road, there's another 5 Cornell Road. And when you get the opposites mail, FedEx, UPS, police, and the fire department, it does get confusing. One of the things was they are a private road, and about 5 years ago, this came up because I got a large packages of wedding presents. And I didn't know there were multiple Cornell roads, and I didn't know there were 5 Cornell roads. So I came home and there must have been 50 presents for him. And I called up UPS and said, "You guys have a bunch of stuff up here. That's delivery stuff from the road." I said, "I don't look, it's not my stuff." So I left it, brought it in the garage, and about 2 weeks later, I get a call from the other guy. Just got married, we were away at honeymoon, and he called and said, "Where's FedEx? Where's my stuff?" And he said, "Deliver it." So this is how the ball got going way back then.
And what the police department, and the fire department, when I met with the fire chief and the police chief, was on the 911, they have west and east. So they can call up, if you can't speak, you can say that this is an east or west call. So, but the problem that we're having is we have a private road that's Cornell Road. And it was fine for a while until we got the multiple numbers and we started to build up. And what I'd like to do, probably too late now, is to have the city change their name. Why should we go through the hassle, we'll have to re-register the mortgages, get in touch with our phone, the gas and electric companies? They're the private road, we're the public road. Have them change their names. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Is there any other member of the public?
Hi, I'm Janet Murphy, M-U-R-P-H-Y. I'm at 18 Cornell Road. And like everyone else, I'll reiterate the same thing. It's about the safety for the kids. I've had a cord of wood delivered in my driveway. I don't have a fireplace. That call, I did get the other gentleman to call me, and he was happy to get his wood. Chinese food gets delivered on a regular basis, and I don't order Chinese food. No disrespect to them, I just don't order it. So, I mean, that's the easy, fun stuff in a sense, but it's the inconvenience, it's the safety issue. I do see police cars coming up and down the street. I think when they see the problem, they rectify themselves and they're shooting off. Time is of the essence, for response time. So anyway, I appreciate you hearing us and taking some action.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Any other member of the public wish to? Mr. Haskell?
I get to see you guys in a different light. Mark Hascarl, 7 Cornell Road. There is another 7 Cornell Road on the over by the lake.
We can get their Chinese food?
But I've got lots of mail, and interestingly enough, my daughter works with the man who lives at the other 7 Cornell Road. So once in a while, we just have an exchange of packages and mail. But for people who don't have that convenience, it's really very annoying. I have a 92-year-old mother who still visits me occasionally, and I would hate to think of the ambulance going to the other place. We've tried adding zip +4. All my mail has the --7525. Doesn't make any difference. And interestingly enough, the last few months, I've been getting mail for the other person with the correct zip +4 for my house. So nothing that we've tried has worked. And I actually, as much as I think what Robin did to get the petition signed by almost everybody who lives on our street to change it to South Cornell Road, I also agree with Paul Duncan. They're a private road. They should change their name. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haskell. Any other member of the public wish to address the council? Any other member of the public wish to address the council? Sure.
Well, my name is Joe Bonacci, DONHCCI, and I just want to agree with what they say, the big health issue up there, because I had an occasion with my wife, they called an ambulance, and the dispatcher had enough sense to call back and ask which Cornell Road, it was, and that could be critical in a really dire situation, and delivery of packages and such, the mail, and so they use the zip codes, so that's that can be easily ironed out, but that's the safety issue is the big concern here, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Any other member of the public wish to address the council? Any other member of the public wish to address the council?
Just ask a question, sorry. Or we might have to answer the question. Maybe to think when you're having your meeting. I was just wondering when and if the road does get changed, does the city of Danbury notify the police and the firemen so that they know that there has been a change? Thank you.
We'll take that to the Okay, any other member of the public wish to address the council? Any other member of the public wish to address the council? Any other member of the public wish to address the council? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Mr. Rotella, seconded by Mr. Taylor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay, this public hearing is now closed. I will now at this time open the committee of the whole, and I'll ask the clerk if she would please call the roll.
Arcati.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Demichi. Here. Riley. Seabury Stanley.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Kola.
Here.
Agsha. Hallis.
Here.
Cabo.
Here.
Sadi Visconti.
Here.
Marfetta. Knapp. Euro. Perkins.
Present.
Cheney.
Present.
Vitello.
Here.
Schultz.
Present.
Stockton.
Okay, the record reflect for the committee of the whole, 14 members are present, 7 are absent. And with the clerk, for the record, please note in the minutes of the committee of the whole, the same absences, reasons for absence, as noted in the public hearing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what's your pleasure? What would you like to do? Mr. Trombetta.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to approve the renaming of Cornell Road to South Cornell Road, which is currently proposed.
Second. Second, Mr. Visconti, second that. Under discussion. Mr. Rotella, then over to Mr. Visconti, and we'll come down this way.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the 6th Ward, we have a couple of issues like this. We're in the process of trying to rename Briar Ridge to, I think, Bramwell Ridge, because it actually is split in 2 different sections. And you can't drive all the way down one end to the other. One end of Briar Ridge actually borders Ridgefield, so in order to rename that end, we would have to get Ridgefield permission. That was next to impossible, so we decided to rename the other. We also have 2 Lake Avenues, although one of the Lake Avenues, I just found this out, thanks to Ben, one of the Lake Avenues has nobody on it. What we did was instead of doing a north or south or east or west, we came up with a whole new name. In my experience, Danbury can go either way. We've got a North Street that's not connected to the South Street, although originally it was North Main and South Main. But some streets like Worcester have a West Worcester, which are contiguous, they're connected. And while any differentiation between the Cornells from Cornell to South or North is a step in the right direction, I just wonder if this is actually going to solve a problem. I mean, if I was on Cornell looking for South Cornell, I'd keep driving up and down Cornell wondering where South Cornell was. It wouldn't occur to me that it would be entirely on the other end of town. I had kind of hoped that the zip code, or maybe the zip +4 would be a step in the right direction, but Director Hascarroll says that's not doing anything. So I'm wondering if perhaps we could, instead of changing Cornell to Cromwell or something like that, if maybe what we could do tonight or perhaps at the meeting next month is to add another slight difference to the road itself. And I don't even want to open up a discussion right now about whose road should be changed. But if we are going to make this differentiation, I'm thinking perhaps South Cornell Street, perhaps Cornell Road, South Cornell Street. If I'm on South Cornell Street or Cornell Road and looking for Cornell Street, I'm pretty much thinking it's not going to be the same one. So if we don't want to actually make a major change to Cornell, to a completely different name, if the residents really want to keep Cornell and just go to the south, I'm thinking maybe we should add something to that, make it a little bit stronger. But I'm in favor of the change. Obviously, this is a pretty serious situation. Any change would be good. I just want to make sure that it's good enough.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Visconti, Mr. Perkins, I'll come back to you. I'm going to go this way first, and then I'll come back. Mr.
Thank you,
Visconti.
Mr. President. If I may shed a little light on this situation. Going back a few years when those of us in the fire department were installing the present-day 911 news system from the state, we had about probably 15 different roads with the same name. Obviously, one of them was Cornell Road. We sent a letter to the state. They got back and said it's something that we would have to take care of. We were able to change some of them. It just seemed that every time certain ones came up, not this one here, the Cornell Road, we ran into quite a few problems. Is the answer changing the road to South Cornell Road? I really don't have a problem with that. Is the answer to change the name to a different name? That could present a problem, although it could be taken care of under the 911 system, because it's just a matter of changing the name, but then it reflects on you folks of having to go through a lot of rigmarole with credit cards and mail and everything else that you're going to have to take care of. I think the easiest way, at least what we found in doing the system, was to go with the South Cornell Road and North Cornell Road, whatever it may be, and take it from there. What happens is that this is then submitted to the system, the 911 system. The state approves it, it goes into effect. It will be, obviously be notified to the fire department. They have a PSAP there for emergency calls, and also the police department. So everybody will be notified about it. And you folks will probably be notified when it is changed, so we can go ahead and change the address when it has to be. So I think, all in all, I agree with the South Cornell Road. I think it's a good idea, at least for now, and see how it works. And if I may have one question, Corporation Counsel. I don't, I'm into. Yes, I don't, did we have a committee on this? Or was it necessary?
I don't think you did. I know. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Is it necessary that you have that?
No. You just have to have a committee.
All right, fine, thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's really helpful to us when we hear from people as to what you think should be done, one way or the other. Thank you. Thank you.
Mrs. Stanley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through the chair to Mr. Pinter. One of the gentlemen in the audience asked if it would be easier to just ask the other Cornell Road, private Cornell Road to switch. We can't ask a private road to switch their name. We have more authority over city roads, public roads.
The answer is you can ask them, that you can't make them.
Right. So this is really probably the answer.
You're right, Colin, you can ask them. We've always read that statute that permits legal authority to take action on roads to be public.
This is really the easiest way to go about it.
We've never tested that. Immediately you think of some legal arguments as opposed to providing certain services. Some roads are partially maintained by the city's fire services. You can make an argument
They
that
do their own snow plowing.
if push comes to shove, you'd be able to have an argument about that. But it would be somewhat of an uphill argument to me, as attractive as that is to have a private road, they don't do it voluntarily, it's have to make them do it, so it's tough.
I don't think it's a good idea to make somebody do that when we can take care of it on our own.
You probably have a bit of a battle.
Right.
You may win, but
Thank
it's
you.
not.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you, Ms. Stanley. Mr. Kern?
Yeah, first of all, I'd just like to say, I think it's refreshing to get a whole neighborhood that kind of agrees, because I've been on this council for, I don't know, 5 years or so, and just changing numbers. That would be, I mean, my husband built this house 55 years ago, we were always 21. It's, I think this is a no-brainer for emergency reasons, and I just think it's great that we should all be commended of wanting to do it all and getting everybody together to do it. It's a pleasure. This is going to be an easy one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kern. Mr. Perkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. I was wondering if we took up the conversation of one of the members from the public in terms of not necessarily accepting the South Cornell Road and coming up with a whole new name. That would be a substantive change, something that we could handle right here in this meeting this evening. Is that correct? Through the chair to Mr. Hendrick.
Does it work this way?
I think it could be more. Yeah, Jimmy said, I had a time for every time you said that to me. Is this the one? Is this the one?
Yeah, okay. The notice for the public hearing tonight and for the committee of the whole is very specific. So I would opine that you would have to have another public hearing if you made a change to a different name, because there are people, you can send a letter out to the neighborhood, but you'd have the potential that you'd have other people coming out who would either object to that new name or insist upon this name, so it would be a substantive change.
Follow-up question. What type of assurances do we have that the Cornell name won't get dropped by a computer if we add the south part of it first? I mean, what's to say that won't get kicked down?
it's hard to say, Dwayne, it could happen. Those are difficult things to try to predict. Hard to say.
Thank you. Folks, if I could just weigh in on this a little bit for some of the members of the council that have been on since I was elected as a young pup in 2003 to this. One of the first major things I tried to do was to correct 23 same or similar names here in the city of Danbury. It was one of my first ad hocs. I had put a request into the council, and I had asked that we address this situation because working for the fire department as well, I sensed it was a huge safety issue, and I had a woman who was a constituent in my ward who needed an ambulance for her mother, and it went to a different sunset instead of the sunset she was on from when I was having a car accident. And thank God the fire truck made it there, the ambulance didn't. The ambulance went to the other sunset, the fire truck made it to the right sunset because of how it was dispatched. 23s knew that they had to go to that sunset, but the other sunset was in their district. And that's the only thing that saved probably that woman's life. So right after that, I took this up, and I have to tell you, I almost got tarred and feathered and run out of town on a rail by homeowners who didn't want their name changed. Don't change my name, change their name. And it got into a huge, bitter dispute. And in the end, we dropped it. And we said, look, you're all taking your lives in your hands with public safety and with other issues, the minor issues that are mail and food deliveries, but you're all taking your lives in your hands with this. I couldn't have been happier when South Cornell proposal came forward, and we had a majority of the residents that said, yes, we want to do this. I agree with Mr. Kern. This is a no-brainer for me. This was an easy one, and I'm glad, as Joanne Reed wrote, because Joanne almost got tarred right along with me, that this is not necessarily the ideal thing. I mean, it would be great to change the name entirely, but this works. This will work. And I'm going to be fully supportive of it, and I encourage you all to be as well. Mr. Visconti?
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, very quickly. What our President Kyle was speaking about is the list that I also spoke about. And we did run into a real hornet's nest. It was just unbelievable. People did not want to change or do this or do that. So we did try.
And we did try.
We did the best we could. And this is what, again, we commend you folks for coming out on the night like tonight and speaking your piece. And this is what helped us out. Thank you.
Move the question.
Motion's been made to move the question. Mr. Colon made it, and Mr. Nation seconded. Let's get a vote on that, correct? Okay, so we're going to take a vote on moving the question. All those in favor of moving the question, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Would the opposed please raise their hands? The record reflect that Mr. Perkins, Mr. Chianese, Mr. Rotello, and Mrs. Teicholz are in the negative. Mrs. Stanley and Mrs. Demichi is as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in the negative. So the motion carries. We have a positive to move the question. So now the motion's been made to move the question. I'm going to try your minds. All those in favor of changing Cornell Road to South Cornell Road, signified by, or making a recommendation to the City Council for the September meeting to change Cornell Road, this particular Cornell Road to South Cornell Road, signified by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everybody. It's time to see no further business before us. Motion adjourned.
Second.
Yeah.
Second.
No, I voted again.
Okay, here's one.
I think it was 6 to 9.